take her life. All I can hope is that she's just not a number.
She was the sweetest little girl who did nothing wrong. She listened to her mom and dad. She always brushed her teeth.
19 young children and 2 teachers are dead after an 18-year-old gunman shot them in a place they thought was safe. A nation and community of parents now left to wonder, could this happen again?
Everybody was scared. We were all panicking because we didn't know what was really happening.
My heart just breaks for them and for everybody. We're such a small community that it really is. Like, everybody knows everybody here.
10 years old, that's the age of most of these 4th graders gunned down in their classroom in Uvalde, Texas on Tuesday. And that's the age when kids are still losing their baby teeth.
I feel guilty for any ounce of happiness because so many parents went to bed with empty beds last night.
A lot of ex-co-workers,
people
a lot
we've
of
grown
friends,
up with,
kids lost, like people that we know.
babies we've watched grow up.
Yeah.
Families in Uvalde, Texas are now planning funerals. Memorials fill the town square and the front lawn of Robb Elementary School after 19 children were killed by a gunman. Some survivors of the school shooting still being treated at the hospital.
I think that's what's hit us the most, not of the patients that we did receive, and we are honored to treat them, but the patients that we did not receive. That is the most challenging aspect of our job right now.
And memorials you can see here, all that is left to remember those young lives lost on Tuesday. This morning, details on how the shooting unfolded continue to surface. Jason Carroll brings.
This morning, people continue to pick up the pieces after Hurricane Ian. The storm leaving many communities unrecognizable.
We're just beginning to see the scale of that destruction. It's likely to rank among the worst of the nation's and the worst in the nation's history. You've all seen seen it on television, homes and property wiped out. It's going to take months, years to rebuild.
Hurricane Ian made landfall for the 2nd time in the U.S. along the coast of South Carolina, ripping apart piers, flooding streets, and damaging homes. And in Florida, the cleanup continues and the death toll rises. Many homes were destroyed, debris littered the streets, and hundreds of people were left stranded due to the flooding. For those who were able to return home, many came back to a pile of wreckage.
My grandparents are still at the house. We have animals there. They don't want to leave the animals. So whenever we left on the boat, it was just a scary feeling, like you don't know if you're ever going to see them again, if you're going to see your house again, your animals again. So that's why I'm a little shooken up. It's just, you never know what you're going to come back to. I mean, we already lost both of our cars, so it's a very scary feeling.
Just emotional testimonies there. Good morning, I'm Gabriela Primus.
And I'm Phil DeCastro.
People continue to remember the late Queen Elizabeth II this morning. The coffin lies in Westminster Hall and will be there until her funeral on Monday. You can see it is topped by a wreath of white roses and her crown resting on a purple velvet pillow. Here's a live look from London, where it is just after 12:30 in the afternoon, and people continue to pay respects to Britain's longest reigning monarch. An emotional day across the UK as people said goodbye to Queen Elizabeth II.
Well, the devastation can be seen littered on streets of cities across Ukraine. Here's a child's notebook full of math equations. Around it, you have glass that is shattered, just like many Ukrainians' lives are as attacks continues.
Thanks, Pete. The choices are now set for the November general election in Wisconsin. The state's primary election wrapped up last night. In the state's Republican race for governor, Tim Michels beat former Wisconsin Lieutenant Governor Rebecca Clayfish. And Democratic Governor Tony Evers' campaign responded to Michels' win. The statement says, After a scorched earth primary that's seen constant attacks and a dizzying race to the radical right, the Republican Party has chosen the most extreme and divisive nominee possible.
He was pulled out from underneath his father, who was still bleeding, by Good Samaritans.
A father's final act in the chaos of Monday's mass shooting has left a 2-year-old orphaned, now in the care of his grandparents.
A new report shows there were missed opportunities in preventing the Uvalde school shooting.
Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of Britain, has agreed to resign after several reported scandals within his government.
And a live look at
Celebrations will be happening all weekend for the 4th of July. Bondwell getting ready for the holiday. It's hosting a parade on Monday the 4th. That starts at 11 o'clock, and then the action moves to Village Park. From parade fun to fireworks, Little Shoot is hosting its show tonight at Doyle Park. The majority, though, of the communities are launching them on Sunday and Monday. Appleton's are Sunday night around 9:15 at Memorial Park. The fun starts in the afternoon with music. Green Bay hosting fireworks on Monday night, which is the 4th of July. The whole events all start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the city's downtown. There'll be several stages with music, family activities, and bounce houses. The fireworks start around 9:45.
And with all those fireworks, it is important to consider some safety tips to keep your family safe during the holiday.